Great! Everything is back to normal now. That was a fantastic story, Dad. But I still don't get it. You came to show us how you swallow the sun, and all you did was eat a banana, and then you told a story about leeches, dogs, and buns and sorcerers? I don't see any connection. Patience, my dear, patience. Everything will become clear soon. But before that, I need to teach you a few interesting facts. Alright? Did you know, children, that everything in this world is made up of tiny things called atoms? Air, soil, water, animals, and even plants are made of these tiny building blocks called atoms. They are like Lego blocks. There are different types of atoms. But today, I want you to remember just 3 of them. They are carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. Can you remember those 3? We'll try. Now, do you know the name of the gas we breathe? Yeah, it's called oxygen. Now, oxygen gas is made up of 2 oxygen atoms stuck together. If we represent an oxygen atom with the letter O, then we can write oxygen gas as O2. Similarly, if we attach 2 hydrogen atoms to 1 oxygen atom, we get water. We can represent water as H2O. There is also another gas called carbon dioxide, which forms when 2 oxygen atoms join with 1 carbon atom. We can write it as CO2. Lastly, I want to tell you about the glucose molecule. I know about glucose. It's really yummy. I like eating glucose. Me too. Glucose is a bit more complex. It has 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. So we can write it as C6H12O6. So many atoms. Do you know plants produce glucose inside their bodies? Wow! How do they do that? If I could do it, I'd make lots of glucose and eat it every day. I have been talking about it this whole time. Now, look at this. The shape of the leeches resembles the letter C. So, when I was talking about leeches, I was actually talking about carbon atoms. The bicycle wheels look like the letter O. So, a bicycle represents 2 oxygen atoms because a bicycle has 2 wheels. When a leech is on a bicycle, it means 1 carbon atom sitting on 2 oxygen atoms. What combination of atoms contain 2 oxygen atoms and 1 carbon atom? Carbon dioxide? Exactly. Now, can you guess which letters represent the buns? Of course, buns look like the letter O, so they must represent oxygen atoms. And what letter do dogs resemble? Dogs look like the letter H, so they must represent hydrogen atoms. Now, you can guess what it means when 2 dogs are eating 1 bun. Yes, that means 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom, which makes water. Now listen, this is what happens. The leeches on bicycles, representing carbon dioxide, hit the dogs eating buns representing water. This happens at dawn, not during the night, because it requires the sun's energy. When water and carbon dioxide combine like this, they stick together and form 6 leeches, 12 dogs, and 6 lumps of buns, which represents C6H12O6. We call this glucose. This process happens inside plants. Plants take carbon dioxide and water, and with the help of the sun's energy, combine them to form glucose. The sun's energy gets trapped inside glucose. Do you remember how the bicycles were scattered on the ground during the accident? Each bicycle represents 2 wheels, which means what? 2 oxygen atoms, right? So during this glucose forming process, oxygen is released from trees. The glucose produced in trees is stored in fruits, which are the containers we eat. Now the banana I just ate was one of those containers that held the 6 leeches, 12 dogs, and 6 buns. Now we understand. So you are the good sorcerer. Yes, that's right. I ate all of it, and then I imagined the bicycles entering through my nose. Just like breathing in oxygen gas. When oxygen gas enters our bodies and combines with the glucose we have eaten, the glucose turns back into leeches on bicycles, which means carbon dioxide, and dogs eating buns, which means water. And the most important thing to remember is that the sun's energy contained in that glucose gets transferred to me during this process. That's why I told you the good sorcerer became more powerful. The sun's energy is trapped inside banana as glucose. So, when we eat a banana, we are actually consuming part of the sun. Now we get it. So, just as father finished his story, the children heard their mom calling them for breakfast. Excitedly, they ran to the kitchen to savor a piece of the sun.